Hello, welcome to this video where I will be showing you 3 different cards, and I will be using mainly the stamp set from June 2022 that's called Paisley Bouquet. And I won't actually be using any of the Paisleys, I will just be using the sentiments to go with some of the stitched ovals that I have used already. I will also be showing an embossing folder that is from April, and that is the Rays, and I'll be showing that in a little bit. Now this embossing folder that I'm using on the purple paper is from Simon Says Stamp, and I really like all the dimension that embossing folders bring, so I tend to use them quite often on my stitched cards. Now, the stamp that I used, Hope This Card Finds You Well, I think that sentiment could be used for different occasions. It could just be a simple hello greeting, it could be a sympathy card, it could be really anything. So I go ahead and make these in advance, and sometimes I'll sell them on my Etsy shop, and sometimes I'll use them for real life. Now, the best part about the stitching elements like this oval here is that you can use it over and over and over again. And I've made many cards with this oval already, and the same goes for the embossing folders and the stamp sets. Once you find some really nice sentiments that you enjoy using and some stitched dies, you can really make a lot of cards with not too many materials. And to finish this card off, I will be using some liquid glue and some purple sequins and adding them to the center of each stitched flower. Sounds like a tongue twister to me. So to do that, I will just put a little dab of glue in the center and then use my jewel picker and put a rhinestone in the center of each flower. And I've sped the video up, and it's not this fast in real life. I like that the little embellishments add basically the finishing touch to the card. I'm also considering adding maybe a ribbon going behind the oval in future cards. We'll see. Now that finishes number 1. Now we're moving on to number 2. This is the embossing folder that I was talking about before. And since it has a center, I'm going to trim off an equal amount on every edge, which would be 1/8 of an inch, just to make sure that my white border for my card will show, but I'm not losing the center of that ray design. So I will put that piece of cardstock onto my card base using some double-sided adhesive tape. And I kind of eyeball it on the side of the card base that has the spine and just press firmly down. And when adding stitch elements, I tend to use the liquid glue just to make sure that the floss has something to stick on. If you're interested in seeing how I make the stitched elements to my cards, I will have a playlist on my channel called Stitched cards or something like that, where I show you how I stitch onto paper, and instead of showing it every single video, I find that making it a few times is the best way to show it for you. Then to finish off card number 2, I will be using some just basic rhinestones that have kind of a green purpley sheen to them, and adding those in the same spot around the oval. And when I do this, I like to use my jewel picker that I will be picking up in a second here, just because I find that if I use my fingers, they kind of get in the way. Unless you have very, very tiny hands, it might work better, but I find that the jewel picker really does a nice job at picking up the jewels and putting them onto my card rather quickly and without making a mess. And that finishes off card number 1 and 2. For my third card, I used bright colors of orange and yellow And this orange sheet of 6x6 pattern paper was from the card kit of the month from June 2022. And I actually misplaced this piece of paper and found it on my floor, wedged between two bins. So I decided to pull it out and use it here in the June video for the stamp set. And just taking my corner rounder, I will just round off the corners of the pattern paper here just to give it a little bit of a softer look. Then I will use my double-sided tape and put on my piece of yellow cardstock to the back of my card front, or the front of my card front. Then I will put the double-sided tape again on the pattern paper and put that in the center of the yellow. To do that, again, I kind of go from the spine part of the card, eyeball it, and press it down. Next, I will take my liquid glue and put the oval in on the card. Now, I do have quite a big long tail there, and no one will know after it's glued on because it will be secure, and that's okay. You can see that I use two different colors, so I have quite a bit of chaos going on in the back, but once it's on the card, you can't even tell. Then to finish off the card, I will be using some pearl embellishments in the center of every flower. Please tell me which card is your favorite. Is it the purple? Is it the gray? Is it the orange and yellow? Just curious. I think mine would probably be the purple one, just because I love the embossed folder background since it has so much dimension. Anyway, if you're interested in purchasing the oval stitch die or the stamp set of this month, June 2022, I will have a link in the description for you to use pretty easily. If you're interested in other items from Spellbinders, they do have quite a few different club memberships, and they are all pretty exciting. So go ahead and check those out as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. And if you would like to be notified about my next video, if you are subscribed, go ahead and click the notification bell, and that will let you know when I post another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.